You may be living right in Los Angeles, where each evening echoes with the sound of sirens, crowds gathering, police on the streets, and images of riots filling the news broadcasts. Or perhaps you live far away, but every time you scroll through the headlines about the LA riots, a quiet sense of unease still rises inside you. It's not just the news itself. When unrest happens, it touches something deeply human, the natural instinct to protect ourselves, our families, and everything we hold dear. Our homes, our children, our jobs, our finances, our daily safety. Who among us can stay completely at ease when even the most familiar things suddenly feel so fragile? Even if you haven't been directly affected, fear still finds its way into the heart. Because the story of survival is deeply written into the human experience. Yet even in these emotionally charged times, Buddhism offers us simple but powerful tools, ways to hold on to our inner calm and sense of control, even as we care for loved ones living nearby or feel helpless watching our communities caught in rising tension. Many Americans feel the same way right now. According to recent surveys, most people do not support the violent riots in the streets, and many remain skeptical about the heavy federal response. What the majority hopes for is far simpler: peace, the return of safety, the quiet reassurance that life can feel secure again for themselves and their families in a world that feels increasingly unsettled. In today's video, we are not here to argue or judge. We're simply here to gently turn inward, to create a small space of stillness within, a place where even as the world shakes outside, you can learn to stay steady and truly at peace. Part 1. Why we feel anxious watching the riots. When images of riots flood the news, it becomes hard for our minds to stay calm. Whether you're living right in Los Angeles, where the unrest unfolds daily, or watching from a distance through your screen, the uneasiness still rises inside. Behind each headline, quiet questions often stir in our hearts. Will my family and I stay safe? Could things get worse? Will life ever feel stable again? This is a very natural reaction, part of our survival instinct. When we sense danger, the brain automatically shifts into alert defense and even worry all in an attempt to protect us. But without understanding how to manage these worries, it's easy to get pulled into a long cycle of anxiety. That's where Buddhist wisdom gently offers us another way, a softer, clearer way to hold steady in the midst of uncertainty. Part 2. Facing fear and opening the door to wisdom. When unrest breaks out close to where we live, our worries naturally grow stronger. We fear for our families, our children, our homes, our jobs, and our daily safety. These fears are real and deeply human. No one can stay completely unaffected when real danger seems to be right outside their door. For many, hearing words about inner peace or Buddhist teachings may bring up honest doubts. How can I feel calm when every night I hear sirens? When the news constantly shows clashes, crowds, and threats that feel so close? And that feeling is perfectly valid. Buddhism never asks us to deny or suppress fear. In fact, the very first step is to recognize it and allow ourselves to say, yes, I am afraid. I have reasons to be concerned. And this fear is present within me. From there, Buddhism invites us to look deeper into how fear operates within our minds. Much of our anxiety doesn't come only from what's happening outside, but from our deep desire to hold on to certainty. We want life to stay safe and stable forever. We want things to always remain as they were. And because we try to tightly hold on to that sense of safety, when the world begins to shake, we often fall into panic and feel out of control. But when we look more deeply, we see that life is always changing. This isn't some distant philosophy, it's a simple reality. We've seen it many times throughout life. Wars eventually end. Crises settle down. Pain fades over time. Even the most intense events cannot last forever. Everything moves through the natural flow of impermanence. Understanding impermanence doesn't mean ignoring real danger or becoming careless. Instead, it allows us to prepare carefully while keeping our minds from spiraling into panic. We begin to realize that even as the world shakes, we can still keep part of our minds steady, able to think, to choose, and to act wisely. And here is the turning point. No matter what situation you're facing, always remember this. Don't let fear pull you into despair, because despair always makes everything worse. The decisions we make in moments of despair are often rushed, unwise, and can lead to even more difficult consequences. Instead, try to see every change as part of life's natural movement. In challenging times like these, mindful optimism becomes your greatest source of strength. With a clear and steady mind, you'll know how to prepare what needs preparing. You'll know when to act, when to pause, and how to move forward when the time is right. Decisions made in calm awareness become the most solid ground for you and your loved ones. In this way, fear no longer controls you. It simply becomes a signal, a gentle reminder saying, "Be careful, be awake." And when you hold on to that clarity, fear will no longer drown you. Instead, it will help you grow stronger through life's trials. Part 3. How the media unintentionally feeds the cycle of anxiety. In times of unrest, following the news becomes almost automatic. Every morning and every evening, we turn on the TV, check our phones, read the headlines, just to stay updated to know whether today feels safer, if new tensions have broken out, or if our community might be affected again. To some extent, staying informed is important. We need information to prepare, to stay cautious, to protect ourselves and our loved ones. But somewhere along the way, this simple habit of staying updated quietly starts to feed something deeper inside, a growing sense of unease. Every article we read, every video we watch, every breaking news alert, we hear adds another layer of worry. The more anxious we feel, the more we want to seek out new information to feel reassured. But the more we consume, the more the anxiety grows. And slowly we get pulled into a cycle, watch, worry, more, worry, more. Modern media, even unintentionally, has a way of deepening this spiral. Images of riots, clashes, and chaos are repeated again and again throughout the day. Headlines become more dramatic. The same confrontational footage plays on loop. The constant message being pressed into our minds becomes, "Things are dangerous. Keep watching. Keep worrying." In truth, much of today's news is designed to hold viewers' attention as long as possible. And what holds attention best? Fear, tension, and the anxious curiosity of what might happen next. So each time we tune in, our minds are placed on constant high alert, rarely given a chance to rest. Though these reports may contain facts, the endless repetition slowly wears down our emotional stability, creating a kind of silent exhaustion that drains our inner peace over time. Buddha taught, "It is not the world outside that causes suffering, but how we receive and relate to it that determines the suffering within us." Without learning how to manage the way we consume information, we risk turning the news, which should simply inform us, into a source that endlessly feeds our fear. This doesn't mean we should ignore reality, but it does mean we must learn to consume information mindfully so we don't accidentally become trapped by the very stream of news that was meant to keep us aware. Part 4. Practical ways to find inner peace. During uncertain times, you may, at this very moment, be facing real instability close to home. Perhaps you hear the sirens, see the breaking news, and spend sleepless nights with growing unease. Or perhaps you're simply watching everything unfold from afar, and yet still feel rising concern for your country, your society, or the safety of loved ones. Wherever you find yourself in this story, I deeply understand one thing. Uncertainty always has a way of weighing on the human heart. Because whether we are close or far, each of us carries something we wish to protect: family, loved ones, stability, and the hope for peaceful days ahead. And so my hope is that what I'm about to share may gently help you find a bit more calm in your mind. Not to erase all your worries, because that may not be possible, but simply to help you feel a little lighter, a little less anxious, and perhaps a bit more clear in your decisions during these unsettled days. This sincerely is what I always hope for when making these videos. And if for any reason what I share is not helpful to you right now, please allow me to offer my apology. If you feel comfortable, you are welcome to share your thoughts in the comments below or reach out to me privately. I would be honored to listen and simply be here as a friend, quietly standing beside you during this challenging time. Now, if you're ready, let us gently move into a few simple and very practical ways that may help you remain steady no matter what you're facing. We cannot control everything happening around us. We cannot stop the stream of headlines, images, and stories about riots and unrest appearing daily. But what each of us can always control is how we nurture our own mind in the midst of it all. In moments like these, the goal is not to eliminate fear entirely, but rather, how can we live alongside our worries with more calm, clarity, and wisdom? First, we must learn to limit how much negative information we allow into our minds. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. You still need to stay informed to protect your family and prepare wisely. But instead of following the news for hours at a time, you can create a simple schedule, checking updates briefly once or twice a day. Avoid consuming news right before bedtime. Limit highly emotional or sensational videos filled with heated debates or disturbing images. Stay informed enough to act, but don't feed your anxiety beyond what's necessary. Second, practical preparation helps reduce vague ongoing worry. The simple act of feeling prepared often brings a surprising sense of calm. You can make basic plans such as keep emergency contact numbers easily accessible. Have a small supply of essential items at home in case of unexpected situations. Talk with your family and agree on simple safety plans if evacuation ever becomes necessary. Just knowing you have a plan can dramatically lower ongoing fear. Third, practice mindful breathing whenever anxiety begins to rise. You don't need long meditation sessions. Simply pause for a few breaths, inhale slowly, exhale gently. Silently remind yourself, in this moment I am safe. My loved ones are safe. Even a few conscious breaths can immediately soften the tension in your body and mind. Fourth, do not let yourself fall into anger or blame. During times of social division, it's easy to become emotionally pulled into frustration towards certain groups' political sides or decisions. But anger only adds fuel to suffering. Instead, practice loving kindness. May all sides find peace. May all people find the path to healing. Loving kindness is not weakness, it's the medicine that first soothes your own heart before it ever reaches the world outside. Finally, always remember caring for your body is the foundation for a steady mind. When your body weakens, your mind becomes more fragile too. So make sure to get enough sleep, eat healthy meals, reduce stimulants like caffeine, and stay gently active each day. These small habits quietly support your inner resilience. With small steps like these, you can slowly reclaim a sense of balance inside yourself. Even while the world around you remains unsettled, you don't have to wait for everything to calm down to start planting seeds of peace right here, right now, within your own heart. Part 5, Inner Peace Difficult, but worth it for a better life ahead. When the world outside feels uncertain, it's easy to feel as if we're drifting inside a storm without knowing when it will finally settle. The days of unrest seem to stretch on endlessly, and sometimes it feels like there's no solid ground left beneath our feet. But even during such times, there is always one place that no storm can ever reach. That place is the peace within each of us. This peace doesn't depend on everything outside being fixed right away. It doesn't require the world to be stable before we can feel safe. Instead, it comes from mindfulness in each breath, in each small choice we make each day, and in each moment when we stop and gently keep our minds from being swept away. When we hold on to that awareness, we can stand more firmly through life's challenges. We act when action is needed. We prepare when preparation is wise. We face reality as it is, but we no longer let it fully control our inner world. It's like the surface of a lake. Even when strong winds ripple the water, the deeper layers below remain calm. Inner peace is the same. It isn't determined by what happens on the surface of life, but by the deeper space inside our own awareness and understanding. And day by day, you'll begin to realize, even though the world outside may still be unsettled, you can still move forward with a stronger heart, a clearer mind, and a spirit that's no longer so easily shaken. If you've made it this far in the video, I am deeply grateful that you've shared this journey with me. The only thing I've hoped for from the very beginning is this, that you might feel even a little lighter, a little less anxious, and have just a bit more strength to keep walking forward. And if so, then this journey has truly been meaningful. If you feel comfortable, please feel free to share your thoughts, your experiences, or even the challenges you're facing right now in the comments below. I'm always ready to listen, and I would be honored to simply walk beside you as a quiet friend during this difficult time. May you and your loved ones find peace even as the storms may still rise around us. And always remember, peace doesn't live in the world outside. Peace from beginning to end has always lived within you.